Hello, and for this Self-Care Sundays, we're going to be looking at writing a letter to our future selves. So, why would we want to write a letter to our future selves? Um, so, the reason why this is a really good exercise is because we don't really spend time thinking about what's important to us and what we want in the future. And this is a really good exercise for us to actually understand ourselves a bit more and become more self aware. So, with this letter to our future self, this could include things like what's currently happening. So, I'm sure we're all bored of hearing it, but we're all part of a global pandemic at the minute that's going to be part of history. So, you can include how that's affecting you in the letter. Another thing that you can put into the letter is different beliefs that we have at the minute, things that are important to us and core beliefs that we have. So, what I mean by core beliefs is perhaps you're really passionate about, standing up for others, or, maybe you're really passionate about gardening or anything like that. And you can write about that in your letter, and then down in the future, those beliefs may have changed. You may have a completely different point of view down in the future, and then it's a good form of reflection then once you read it in 5, 10 years, whatever it is that you pick. So, how do we go about starting writing the letter? So, first of all, think about the length of time that you would like to wait until you read the letter again. 1 year is fine, but I would recommend 5 years because a lot can change in 5 years. And if you want to do it longer than five, then that's okay as well. And you can set a way to remind yourself to open it. So maybe it could be on your birthday in 5 years' time, or you could set it for a big life commitment. So say, you plan to open it when you get your first job, or you plan to open it when you get into university or your first apprenticeship, whatever aim or big life event that you feel would be good. Or you could just plan a random date and time, 5 years' time, and say, this is when I'm going to open it. So once you've decided on your length of time, then you can get ready to write it. And this letter is only for yourself, and in 5 years' time, it's only for you to read unless you feel that you want to show it to somebody else. So please use this as something for you to be as open and honest as you can be, and perhaps more so than if you were to show it to somebody else. And you can find a safe place so that, if you feel that maybe someone might be tempted to read it, that you can hide it. And once you've decided all of that, then you can get into writing it. So this video isn't going to be very long today because the main bit is you writing your letter, which is going to be personal to you. So what I'm going to do is just talk about some different topics that you can include in the letter, and I'm going to write one as well so that I'm participating with you. So just some of the things that I was thinking would be useful for us to put into the letter is like hopes for the future. So maybe you've got a dream job that you would love to have, or even, oh, I would love to be able to be doing this in 5, 10 years' time, and put those hopes in that for the future. So they could be very small, or they could be really, really big hopes, and perhaps things that you want to be different. So we all want change in our lives, and change can be really scary. So writing that into your letter and seeing if that change has happened in 5 years' time is something that you could put in as well. And then what about lessons that we've learned? So maybe you've learned different things to do with friendship that maybe you wouldn't want to repeat again. So different lessons that we've learned, or even, anything to do with school as well. Maybe we regret not working as hard on something that, we didn't maybe get as good a mark in, or, even the opposite of that. Maybe we did get a really good mark and didn't work as hard as we should have. So just different things that we've learned, so life lessons, and we can then put them in, because sometimes those life lessons, we remember them obviously at the time, and then in 5 years' time we forget about it. So it can be interesting for you to read it and be like, oh my goodness, I remember that, actually I completely forgot about it. And And then what goals have I achieved? So what goals have you currently achieved? Maybe you have done, say you do swimming and you've managed to beat your record, or horse riding or football or anything at all like that, and you've met your goal. And who helped you with that? Did anybody help you, or did you do it all on your own? um, that's something that you can include. um, and then we can go into the deeper stuff as well if you're comfortable, because it is only for you. So big questions like, am I really happy? Can be a good question to put in to reflect and to be more aware of how we're currently feeling as well. It's really important for us to look after ourselves. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about self-care. So self-care is mentally and physically. So self-care for me is maybe doing a face mask or dyeing my hair, or go on a nice walk in nature. So different things like that is self-care. So there's a question that you can put in, do I take enough time to look after myself? Once you're happy with everything that you have put in your letter, a nice way to finish it is just a piece of advice for your future self. And this can be really interesting when you go and look at it in a year's time, 5 years time, even longer than that, whatever it was that you decided. Because it can mean something completely different to you then than what it does to you currently. So I just encourage you now, or whenever you get the chance, to write your letter and put it in a safe place, and set your wee reminder about when you're going to open it in the future. Thank you for watching today's Self Care Sundays, and I'll see you next week for the next video.